Hi everyone. I hope that you stay healthy and well. Let me ask you a question. What is to live as a Christian in this world? Let me introduce a diary a teenager wrote down when he stayed in a camping site. Trails need to be paid. Too many bugs and leeches, then spiders and spider webs. Please spray the wilderness to rid the area of this pest. The coyotes made too much noise last night and kept me awake. Please eradicate these annoying animals. Why there is no McDonald's at the trailhead? What is this boy's problem? His commands and complaints indicate that he does not really understand what it means to stay in wilderness area. He was looking for something convenient and comfortable, but not truly a wilderness experience. In a similar way, many people today don't understand what it means to be a genuine Christian. There are multitudes that often follow Jesus or claim to be a Christian, but they do so on their terms and not Jesus. They do not truly comprehend the biblical definition of discipleship. Do you know the term disciples occurs 269 times in the New Testament, while the term Christian only occurs the 3 times? In Acts 11:26, we are told that the disciples were first called Christian in Antioch, which makes clear that the terms are interchangeable. I wanted this to be clear because it clarifies the seriousness of what Jesus was saying. For instance, Jesus' words in verse 27, "Anyone who does not carry his cross is follow me cannot be my disciple," could also be phrased like this: "Anyone who does not carry his cross and follow me cannot be a Christian." Isn't it too serious? We know that the salvation is totally free gift. But here, to be a Christian, we have something to pay. So isn't it confusing? An illustration may help to clarify this issue. Suppose I had a desire to climb Mount Everest. I do not have such a desire, but suppose that I desired to climb Everest. The problem is that it cost about more than $100,000 to do it, and I do not have that much money. Suppose a wealthy businessman heard of my desire and offered to pay for the entire expedition. He would buy all the expensive clothing and gear. He would pay for my transportation, the guides, and the training. It's totally free for me, isn't it? But if I accept his free offer, I have just committed myself to months of difficult training. It could even cost me my very life because many good climbers die trying to climb Mount Everest. It's free and yet very costly. salvation is saying. It's totally free gift, but very costly too. We have to carry our own cross to follow Jesus. In verse 26 and 27, Jesus explained what it means to be his disciples. In summary, Jesus' message in these two verses is, to be a disciple of Jesus, you must be committed to him above everything else. Yes, it looks too much serious. How can we hate our family and our own life? But don't be discouraged. The word hate here is not meant to be taken literally, but is rather used figuratively to express a point. It is exaggeration like what we use when we say, that man is as big as a house. Also in Jewish culture, the word hate was commonly used to express lesser love. So what Jesus is saying here is that in our hearts, Jesus must come before our loved ones. Self-interest, possessions, careers, hobbies, goals in life, and even our very lives. We must love him more than anything else. Our hobbies, more than our goals in life, more than our careers, and more than our self-interest. What Jesus is speaking of here is not our feelings toward him or our families, but rather he is speaking of our level of commitment. He is saying that our commitment to obey and following him must be greater than any other commitment in our lives. In other words, Jesus must be first in our priorities and loyalties. Is this true in our life? I know we have no strength to do it. Therefore, we cannot ask to ourselves this question: am I able to follow Jesus completely? But rather, we can ask this question: am I willing to follow Jesus? We are all human, and so we will fail in our commitments. But the thing Jesus tells us here is not our ability, but our willingness to follow him with our whole hearts. I wish that all of us would keep this message in our hearts so that we might have willingness to follow him with all our own hearts.